They came to pack up a house full of memories, but the one memory they found would change everything they thought they knew about their family. 57-year-old Eleanor and her younger brother, 60-year-old Liam, stood in the dusty silence of their childhood home. The air, thick with the scent of old paper and cedar, felt heavy. After their mother's passing, selling the house was a financial necessity, a final, painful severance from the past. Their relationship, always a fragile truce held together by shared history, had frayed to a single thread. Liam was pragmatic, sorting items into keep, sell, and trash with an unsentimental efficiency that grated on Eleanor. She moved slower, each object a ghost whispering a story. Liam saw a house. Eleanor saw a home. Their father, a stern, quiet man, had died a decade ago. Their mother, always a bit distant and melancholic, had followed, leaving them with this final, shared duty. Their upbringing had been strict, emotionally barren. Love was an assumed fact, not a demonstrated feeling. They were taught to be self-sufficient, to never show weakness, and above all, to never, ever air the family's dirty laundry. It was a lesson they'd both learned too well, building walls between themselves that now seemed insurmountable. "Let's just get the attic done," Liam said, his voice echoing in the hallway. "It's the worst part." Eleanor simply nodded, following him up the narrow, creaking stairs. The attic was a tomb of forgotten things. Piles of furniture draped in white sheets looked like slumbering giants. Sunlight streamed through a single grimy window, illuminating dancing dust motes. In the far corner, under a pile of moth-eaten blankets, was a small, wooden trunk. It wasn't their father's military chest or their mother's hope chest. This was different, unfamiliar. "What's this?" Eleanor asked, her voice barely a whisper. Liam shrugged, prying open the rusted latch. The hinges groaned in protest. Inside, nestled on a bed of yellowed lace, was a stack of letters tied with a faded blue ribbon. They were addressed to their mother, but not in their father's familiar, sharp handwriting. The script was elegant, flowing. The postmarks were from the late 1950s, just before she had met their father. "Probably just old letters from a friend," Liam said dismissively, ready to toss the box aside. But Eleanor stopped him. Something in the careful way they were preserved felt important. "Let's just read one," she pleaded. Liam sighed, a long, weary sound of impatience. But he relented. Eleanor untied the ribbon, the silk crumbling slightly in her fingers. She unfolded the first letter, the paper so brittle it threatened to disintegrate. Her eyes scanned the page, and her breath hitched. "Liam," she whispered, her hand trembling. "Listen to this." She began to read aloud. The letter was a passionate declaration of love, filled with shared dreams and secret promises. It was from a man named Arthur, who spoke of their plans to run away together, to escape their small town and build a new life in California. He wrote of her spirit, her laughter, her fierce intelligence, qualities Eleanor and Liam had rarely, if ever, seen in their quiet, somber mother. Letter after letter told the same story, a deep, all-consuming love affair. Then, the tone shifted. The letters grew more desperate. Arthur wrote of a scandal, a misunderstanding at the bank where he worked. He was being accused of embezzlement. He swore his innocence, claiming he was being set up by a jealous superior. He begged their mother to believe him, to wait for him, promising he would clear his name. The last letter was postmarked from a town near the Canadian border. It was short, frantic. He was leaving the country. He had to. He promised he would send for her as soon as he was safe. "Don't forget me, my love," it ended. "Wait for me." Silence descended upon the attic, thick and suffocating. "This can't be real," Liam said, his voice flat, devoid of emotion. But it felt real. It explained so much. Their mother's perpetual sadness, the emotional void in their home, her insistence on propriety and avoiding any hint of scandal. She hadn't been waiting for Arthur. She had been running from the shame of loving a man who was, in the eyes of the world, a criminal. She had married their father, a respectable, stable, and emotionally predictable man on the rebound. She hadn't chosen a life with him. She had settled for it. Their childhood hadn't been built on a foundation of love, but on the ruins of it. Their father's strictness wasn't just his nature. It was a constant, unspoken reaction to his wife's past, a desperate attempt to control the chaos he must have sensed simmering beneath her placid surface. They weren't just the children of their parents. They were the consequence of a broken heart and a desperate choice. They were living proof that she had moved on, even if her heart never did. The revelation hit them both like a physical blow. For Eleanor, it was a wave of profound sorrow for the mother she never really knew, for the woman who had sacrificed her own happiness. For Liam, it was rage. So our whole life was a lie, he spat, kicking at a nearby box. She married Dad while she was in love with some thief? We were just a cover story, a way for her to look respectable. Liam, don't, Eleanor pleaded. She was young. She was scared. Scared? Or just weak, he shot back. She made a choice, and we lived with it. All those years, all that coldness, it wasn't just how she was. It was because she was dreaming of someone else. We were never enough for her. His words were like daggers, piercing the fragile peace of the attic. All the resentment he'd harbored for years, for their father's severity, their mother's distance, the emotional austerity of their home, came pouring out. And Dad, Liam continued, his voice rising. Did he know? Did he spend his whole life married to a woman who loved someone else? Is that why he was always so damn miserable and hard on us? Because we were a constant reminder of his failure to win her heart. The questions hung in the air, unanswerable and devastating. The family they knew had been a carefully constructed facade, and the cracks were now shattering the entire structure. The strained dynamic between them wasn't just sibling rivalry. It was an inherited chill, passed down from parents who were themselves trapped in a cold war of unspoken truths. This changes nothing, Liam said, his face a mask of fury. We sell the house. We split the money. We're done. He turned to leave the attic, his movements jerky and angry. Liam, wait. Eleanor cried out, scrambling after him. We can't just end it like this. This is our family, our story, broken as it is. We have to talk about this. He spun around at the bottom of the stairs, his eyes blazing. Talk about what, Eleanor? 40 years of lies. There's nothing left to say. She made her choice, he lived with it, and we paid the price. I'm done paying. He stormed towards the front door, grabbing his jacket from the hook. Eleanor stood frozen in the hallway, the letters still clutched in her hand. The weight of their parents' secret, of a life unlived and a love lost, pressed down on her. The house, once a symbol of their shared past, now felt like a crime scene. Liam's hand was on the doorknob, his shoulders rigid. He paused, his back to her, the silence stretching into an eternity. Was this it? Was this how decades of a shared, complicated life ended? Not with a gentle farewell, but with a slammed door and the echo of angry words. He turned the knob. Does she find the words to make him stay, or does she let him walk out of her life and their shared history forever? What do you think she should do? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you were moved by this story, please hit that like button, share it with someone who appreciates a good family drama, and make sure you subscribe to our channel for more compelling stories every week. Thanks for watching.